You know, I've met a lot of people in my life, thousands and thousands, and I've never met a human being of as high quality as Marc Barton. I can say that from the heart. He's many, to those of you who know him, he's different things. He's a father to some, husband. To me, he's my friend, my doctor, my business partner. Everything he does it with a degree of excellence that is awe-inspiring. And so with equal parts pride and humility, I ask you to come up and accept your black belt.
So before I started Jiu-Jitsu, I was a doctor, and I worked as a GP for a few years, but mostly I worked in emergency medicine and intensive care. My life was very busy. I was working very long hours, old school medical jobs. My first job, I think I was working 97 hours a week, so it was pretty hard to do anything else at all during that job. It was a very different style of existence. I've always done martial arts though, so I did try and keep up with my training as much as I possibly could during those years, but it was a challenge. It was always difficult. And I did karate for a long time, well over 10 years, and then it was, I guess, through that I found Jiu-Jitsu, because in the latter part of my karate training I started to do some striking with a guy called Clayton, who was also a brown belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu at the time under Maurizio. And sometimes he would take me into his back garden, put some mats out, and we would have a bit of a roll around, and he would show me some Jiu-Jitsu. And I think once you start doing Jiu-Jitsu, Jiu-Jitsu just takes over. It's so addictive, you fall in love with it, you just want to do as much as you can. And I realised that dividing my time between two martial arts wasn't the right thing for me personally, and I just wanted to do the Jiu-Jitsu. And at that point I left the karate behind, and I guess that was 12 years ago or so now. I started teaching in Kingston when Nick left to go on what was going to be a one-year seminar tour. So Nick's one of my main instructors over the last 12 years or so, and he's the one that's been grading me and was responsible for a lot of my development up until that point. And when Nick left, we decided that it would be nice for me to have a little club. I was a purple belt at the time in Kingston. When Nick was planning on being in and out of the country, and he wouldn't have had anywhere to stay to teach, so I really just opened the club so that Nick would have a home when he came back from his seminars, but he just never really settled and continued to travel. So the club sort of grew and became more and more my responsibility. I dropped my hours and became part-time in A&E. To be honest, in the last few years of my medical career, I was becoming very anxious about the nature of the work that I was doing, about my job. It was a stressful job. I was a senior doctor, often running a department. And it's a lot of responsibility, a lot of pressure in that position. So the Jiu-Jitsu was my main stress reliever. It was my saviour at that point in time anyway. So I was very dependent on going to train and going to have a role and see my friends at the academy. So for me, the Jiu-Jitsu was already such an important thing in my life that it wasn't a huge transition for me. It wasn't as big as it might seem to, I think, people from the outside looking in. Most people that start Jiu-Jitsu, in my experience, are usually coming to it from either from a self-defense perspective, or they have friends that do it and they're kind of interested in the sports aspect of it. And I would say mostly it falls into that first sort of self-defense kind of martial arts type scenario. And Jiu-Jitsu will definitely give you the ability to defend yourself. I can definitely, I think, I would definitely be able to defend myself in a self-defense situation better than I could 12 years ago. But it's so much more than that. I mean, it will. If you train consistently, the way in which it will improve your overall health is remarkable. But it will also, it's very helpful in terms of your mindset. And for me, the thing that I wasn't really expecting to get from Jiu-Jitsu was the way that it would help me through so many other things, periods of anxiety or periods of stress, work-related issues. It just really, really helped my mental well-being. And I think that it's a very holistic thing. You know, you'll meet friends. You'll meet friends that you'll have all of your life if you stay with it. You know, I have nearly all my best friends now are people that I do jiu-jitsu with, if not all. And it will just bring so many different things, more than just self-defense or fitness or health. It's a really unique thing from that perspective. I would just say, if you're thinking about it, really just go and do it. Go and give it a go, because you'll never regret it. You'll never regret taking jiu-jitsu.